It is Friday and the 25th day of April. Thank you for being a part of the show. Just want to throw this out there. If you feel as though that you've had a week's worth of work and life crammed into one day, that being today, I feel your pain. It has been a busy and hectic one at that. A lot of that related to the news, a lot of that related to signs and elsewhere, but it's been a good and productive day that I am glad is over. I've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of it centers around courthouse notes in some fashion. A full list of indictments returned just a few days ago by the Johnson County Grand Jury. A McFarland County indictment just released after being served, as well as some other courthouse news and notes, and of course an update on your weather and the situation that's developing over, well, was developing over in Floyd County with the lockdown, of course, of Highlands, ARH in that area. We've got a few calls in, and I hope to have something more to add to my initial report on that in just a few seconds. With that said, your weather forecast, by the way, tonight, we're still going to talk about the potential for some showers and thunderstorms. The forecast for your Saturday has eased up just a bit if this holds steady where it is now. We've got showers and not much of a thunderstorm chance for tomorrow, and we have them pulling out a little earlier than what we thought, so tomorrow might not be all that bad. Fingers indeed are crossed. We'll get to that in just a few seconds. So I think most everyone well aware, if you're catching the 6 o'clock show, that there was a fatal shooting. It does appear and has been confirmed through the Floyd County Coroner's Office in Floyd County. It resulted, we believe, as the end of a domestic dispute. No information about the shooter or the victim. The shooter was at large initially, and I hope to have confirmation on as to whether or not that is still the case in just a few moments. But there has been one person pronounced dead by the Floyd County Coroner's Office. Now, this happened over near the Auction Bridge in Route 321, and that area, of course, was closed by personnel in that area as the investigation continued, and that included a lockdown at Highlands ARH after the suspect reportedly fled the shooting scene. And again, I have a few calls in, and I hope to have more to add to that in just a few seconds. It was ceremoniously, as it was the governor's signature to papers yesterday actually, that made it official. But this is a great story. I've still got some of these papers left, not all that many if you want to pick one up. And it's also a feature that we're probably going to sit down and do in person here on the show just as soon as time allows. But the Jared Lee Helton Act was a front page story, a very moving story that we had, of course, on the week of April the 3rd on the Sagersville Independent. And it was this Jared Lee Helton Act that was signed officially into law by the governor this week. And it's legislation that is all aimed at saving lives and making roads safer. Jared's family, along with help by Representative John Blanton, sponsored the bill. And together it has framework that has automated speed enforcement devices that will be placed in Kentucky's highway work zones. And the measure was named in honor of the young 22-year-old McFarland County man who, of course, was killed while working in a construction zone. That was back in 2019. And after working for several sessions to advance the legislation, Blanton says that he was incredibly proud that House Bill 664 was signed into law, signifying a major step toward improving highway work zone safety for workers. And the goal of this legislation, he said, is to get drivers just to slow down and exercise greater caution in highway work zones to protect the lives of those working there. The camera systems are temporary. They are targeted and designed to only address speed violations rather than provide overall surveillance. And something that I'm sure Jared's, well, we know, as they told us in the Independent, Jared's family is very proud of. Under the measure, a police officer can issue a citation in a highway safety work zone at the time of the offense based on images transmitted by an automated speed enforcement device if a motor vehicle is detected to be traveling more than 10 miles an hour over that posted speed limit, and at least one bona fide worker is present in the highway work zone, and a certified peace officer is present in or near the end of the work zone in a marked vehicle. There are other stipulations, of course, all of which my apologies, Heather covered quite well in the Independent story, which you can find online. And if you haven't read that already, we please encourage you to do so. Let's go ahead right now and go to a number of indictments returned just days ago by the Johnson County Grand Jury. Hoker May of Sagersville was indicted for tampering with physical evidence. This happening just around the first of this past month when he was said to have tried to remove or hide Suboxone while being an inmate at the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. He was ordered held on a $5,000 cash bond. 18-year-old Brianna Chapman of Mealy was indicted for criminal abuse in the first degree with a victim under the age of 12. This was a case brought forth by the Kentucky State Police. She was ordered held on a $25,000 bond for intentionally and unlawfully using or abusing a minor under the age of 12 and thereby causing serious physical injury or placing that child in a situation that may have caused serious physical injury or caused torture or cruel confinement or cruel punishment. Carl Perkins II of Paintsville, ordered held on a $5,000 bond after picked up on an indictment charging him with burglary in the third, complicity, being a persistent felony offender in the second for at least one prior felony, and criminal mischief in the first degree. This was after he is alleged to have broke into and attempted to burglarize the Johnson County Fish and Game Club in Thialca, and at the same time left some nearly $1,800 in damages to the facility. Terry Daniels of Paintsville was named in two indictments, both related to the same set of events that took place on February the 19th, one for possession of a handgun by a convicted felon after the Paintsville Police Department found him to be in possession of a .22 caliber handgun with a felony record. He was also indicted for possession of methamphetamine, almost 70 grams, indicted in complicity with several other individuals who were also indicted for possession of meth in the first degree for almost 70 grams that were seized by Paintsville police. The co-conspirators alleged are William Blair, William Stapleton, and a Crystal Maynard. Maynard's picture not available as of airtime. Donald Meek of Thialca was indicted on assault in the third degree of a police officer, 2 separate counts, disorderly conduct in the second degree, resisting arrest and menacing, and ordered held on a $5,000 bond after assaulting 2 Paintsville police officers during his arrest. Stephen Hatton of Paintsville, who's been jailed since December the 27th, was ordered held on a $10,000 bond. The Kentucky State Police bringing a case to the Johnson County Grand Jury, which resulted in an indictment charging him with trafficking in a controlled substance, methamphetamine, over 6 grams, and being a persistent felony offender in the second degree. Shelley Preston Mead of Paintsville was indicted for trafficking in the first degree, over 2 grams of fentanyl, trafficking in a controlled substance, over 10 dosage units of methadone, and being a persistent felony offender in the first degree for at least 2 prior felonies on her record. Her bond was set at $10,000 and was arrested and said to have had about almost 9 grams of fentanyl, about $900 in cash, 2 sets of digital scales, and almost 25 doses of methadone in her possession. Michael Holland of Paintsville was indicted for possession of a controlled substance, first degree methamphetamine. Buddy Horn of DeBoard was indicted for possession of a controlled substance in the first degree methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, failure to signal, no operator's license, and license to be in possession after being stopped by authorities on November the 8th of last year. And Christopher Kessner was indicted for possession of a controlled substance, first degree methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia, while Michelle Blevins was indicted for promoting contraband in the first degree after being found in possession of methamphetamine in the Big Sandy jail. John D. May of Sagersville indicted for promoting contraband in the first degree and being a persistent felony offender in the first degree for being found in possession of methamphetamine in the Big Sandy. And Kayla Jones was indicted for promoting contraband in the first degree and tampering with physical evidence after said to have been in possession of drugs while being lodged or booked into the Big Sandy Regional Jail. Also named in those indictments was Laura Williams of Paintsville for possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance in the third, diazepam, possession of paraphernalia, and public intoxication after being found allegedly with a small quantity of methamphetamine and diazepam by Paintsville police on or around November the 8th of last year. I'll be right back. One name, one call, one ultimate solution to your heating and cooling, sales, 24-hour service, and installation for home, commercial, boilers, chillers, and VRF systems. With over 15 years of experience and now based right here in the viewing area, Ultimate Air. 496-6650.
My name is Don McFarland, and I have been an attorney in Eastern Kentucky for over 30 years. This is my son, Max McFarland. I'm very proud of Max. He is incredibly intelligent, a hard worker, and is graduating from law school this spring. Max will take the bar exam this summer.
We are a family and we treat our clients like family. Bigger law firms are not always better law firms. There is no substitute for experience, personal attention, wisdom, and knowing who your attorney is.
When you have any legal needs, come see us and we will personally represent you, and we will put our experience and energy to get the results you need.
If you have been in a car wreck, injured on the job, in need of Social Security disability benefits, or have any legal needs, come see us and let us take care of you. Call us at 349-9000.
With spring comes sniffles and sneezes from that pesky fine powder from plants. Pollen, one of the worst words ever. You could try to limit your time outdoors, but that's really not an option for most of us. So talk to the pharmacist at Parkway Pharmacy and make a plan for personalized solutions for allergy and asthma relief today.
There are several risk factors that may put a patient at risk for heart disease.
Especially people who have diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol and have a family history of heart disease.
Neglecting to see a cardiologist can put you in trouble. You may develop problems that may not be reversible.
We see many people who do not have an actual diagnosis of a heart problem, but may be at risk of heart disease, and we do whatever we can to help mitigate that risk to help prevent disease in the future. ARH. More for Appalachia.
SMB is proud to stand with you with what might be your very first and definitely last checking, savings, retirement, even Christmas club account, along with consumer, auto, mortgage, business loans that you can easily manage from anywhere in the world with safe, secure mobile and online banking that comes from over 120 years of commitment to your financial life and well-being, today, tomorrow, and forever. Salyersville National. Get personal with new jewelry collections from Soul Stacks and more at the seasonal shop, with new spring arrivals every week. Arrive and hydrate in style with Brewmate's new Brew Tank and the full color collection of cups and mugs. And come smell for yourself why Tyler's glamorous detergent sprays and soaps are hard to keep in stock. And if it's Easter you're thinking about, there's all kinds of ways to stuff anyone's basket of any age at Frazier's Prater Drug Seasonal Shop in downtown Salyersville.
Johnson Central High School stands alone in providing the most college and career programs of study in one building throughout the entire state of Kentucky. This includes pathways in everything from the medical field to engineering, telemedia, welding, agriculture, and even aviation. And that's just to name a few of the 32 different choices. Work has also been started on a brand new state-of-the-art high school. So now is the time for your child to experience the power of opportunities in Johnson County schools.
For whatever reason, if your working days are over, don't do anything before you meet Grover. Social Security, disability, SSI, work injuries, wear and tear, and hearing loss. 888-9-GROVER. More indictments to cover in headlines tonight. One from McGoffin County and the McGoffin County Circuit Court. Another, a federal indictment, named in it a Johnson County woman federally charged for distributing large quantities of methamphetamine in the viewing area. Justin E. Crum of Mousy, Kentucky, was indicted after the case was presented to the McGoffin County grand jury by the Kentucky State Police and Trooper Billy Ball. He was charged with possession of a controlled substance, first-degree first offense, that being fentanyl, possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as a count of speeding. He was stopped here in McGoffin County and found to be in possession of the highly lethal drug, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. This indictment was returned by the McGoffin County grand jury on the 16th day of January. And a Johnson County woman was named in a federal indictment returned yesterday in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky, naming 47-year-old Jennifer Perez of Paintsville in a 3-count indictment. All 3 counts related to distribution of methamphetamine. The indictment alleges that on 3 different occasions, February the 10th and 11th and 14th of this year, on at least 2 of those occasions, she was said to have been responsible for distributing large amounts of methamphetamine. The amount for the first count was not listed in the indictment. Perez was also one of 6 people arrested by a joint operation by Paintsville Police, State Police, and the Sheriff's Department over in Johnson County after a home was raided on Short Street back in December. She faces up to 40 years in prison, and at last report was not in custody as of yet, as the United States yesterday afternoon had moved for the issuance of an arrest warrant in her name. Up next is tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. First, ignore that little white line in the graphic there that says canceled due to weather. This is an old graphic from when they had to postpone, we'll call it now, Trader Days. And I just don't have access to the new graphic or time to fix this one, so my apologies. But I want to remind everyone because it's getting close. I mean, it is not this Saturday, but the following, May the 3rd, Trader Days, hosted by the Royalton Community Council, will be here at the Battlefield Park at Half Mountain. Join them. They're raising funds for the 7th Annual Walnut Festival, which is later on in September on the 20th. But Trader Days is coming up Saturday, May the 3rd. They've got plenty of room for vendors if you want to be a vendor, food vendor, otherwise. And if you're not a vendor, you need to come out and find out the cool things you didn't know you needed or wanted so bad. If you want to be a vendor, call Janice 496-9996 or contact any person on the Royalton Community Council. It's going to be a big time. Always cool things to see and buy and eat. There's always something there to buy that's really tasty, I promise. The McGoffin County Beekeepers Association is meeting this Monday, and they hope to have you there. They're going to be talking about nutrition with their special guest speaker. This is for everyone who is a beekeeper or who would like to learn more about it. Great place to do so. They would love to talk to you about it. They're kind of passionate about beekeeping. The Bass Tournament coming up Saturday, May the 3rd, hosted by the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church. Starts at 7 that morning from Scott Creek. Remember that, Scott Creek. $1,000 for first prize. Other big cash prizes, $100 every hour for the big fish. Great time, great turnout, great tournament. I'd like to see as many as possible. Great place to put your announcements is right here. And that, of course, always includes birthday and anniversary wishes that you would love for us to pass along. From there, we'll go to obituaries for tonight, brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. First, a reminder, services start in the morning for James Doug Howard, 73 of Cow Creek, who passed away Wednesday. Survived by his wife, Marlena, sons James and Joshua, his brother Dwayne, his sister Janine Howard, and a number of grandkids. Funeral services for Doug Howard will be held tomorrow morning at 11 from the Sagersville Funeral Home. And services have been set for this Monday at 1 for 67-year-old James Kenton Dickerson of Pressesburg. He passed away yesterday at St. Mary's, survived by his wife Cindy, daughter Courtney Marie Hall, and a host of cousins, family, and friends. Funeral services will be Monday at 1 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Friends can visit the funeral home Sunday from 3 till 9. In lieu of flowers, the family has requested that donations be made to the Faith Bible Church in memory of James Kenton Dickerson.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I love working in the coal mines, even though it was hard work. But if you suspect you have black lung, you can't work anymore. You'll find out that filing for benefits is hard too. I had friends who give up after years of trying. If it hadn't been for Big Sandy Healthcare, I wouldn't even try myself. If you think you have black lung, call Big Sandy Healthcare and get the help you deserve.
There were times that I just could not concentrate on things.
There's days I wake up and I don't want to do anything.
It's just devastating.
The grief that happens after the death of a loved one can leave you feeling confused, lost, and alone without a roadmap. But other people have traveled this grief journey before you, and there is hope and a way forward. Griefshare is a proven video-based support group that connects you with others who are traveling the grief journey you're on right now.
Griefshare is a place where you can be as raw
and as ugly as you want to be. And it's okay.
I joined them online and it was great. It was wonderful.
Each weekly Griefshare session consists of an insightful video with grief experts and testimonials, a small group discussion, and encouraging workbook exercises. You'll also receive free online resources and tools that help you move forward in hope and healing.
I gained so much more than just understanding of grief, and I think I saw it from a bigger picture too.
Visit griefshare.org to learn more.
Colin, Mockery, and Brad Sherwood, the dynamic duo from television's Whose Line Is It Anyway, are coming to town, and they're asking for trouble.
Our show is completely made up.
Prepare for a side-splitting interactive extravaganza as these improv wizards hit the stage, serving up a night of unscripted comedy gold.
It sounds like a big waste of time and a lot of money.
It is.
Don't miss Colin, Mockery, and Brad Sherwood. Catch them on Sunday, May 18th at the Mountain Arts Center. Get your tickets today at macarts.com.
Now, let's take a last look for the week at your weather again right now. Trends, computers, models, predictions, crystal balls showing that we might be in for a little better of a Saturday than we thought we were. We got a lot to talk about weather-wise. It's Friday. That means it's the weekend. I know, that's obvious. But it is also next week, which is the week before Derby, and we've got a lot happening between all of that. Here's what the cold front's causing today. Showers and some thunderstorms, hit and miss, much like we've seen over the past 24 hours. A little more intense out there today for some areas, as you saw. And we've got a chance to the tune of an 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening. We're going to see some. I think most everyone, not all, but most everyone in the viewing area will see a little, or maybe some pretty good rain tonight at times. Topped out at 73 degrees earlier today. Nighttime lows predicted to be right around 60. And again, some patchy fog. No surprise there. Now, here's what the cold front's doing for the weekend. Cooler air behind it. We're still talking, as we have been all week, about the upper 60s for your weekend. However, I am glad to say that all the models are showing that showers look to be moving out by maybe 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow on your Saturday. Might even see mostly cloudy skies give way to a little sunshine tomorrow afternoon. And we're leaning towards that right now. Temperatures flirting with the 70-degree mark, and if we get that afternoon sun breaking through, I think that's certainly doable. And again, a 50% chance of showers, mainly before 1, 2, 3 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. Nighttime lows definitely cooler and closer to 40 degrees. Sunday still cool, 67, but sunny. Not a bad day, just cooler, And 40 for nighttime lows. No worry of any frost right now, in this part of the forecast at least. Sunny, partly cloudy Sunday, and gives way to a real recovery rate on Monday. We should be back to right at 80 under some sunny skies, clear, calm, dry conditions. Mostly clear Monday night in the mid-50s. We will fall. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll stop there. In the 80s, 84 to 81 is your gradient there. We've got some sun each and every day. Nighttime lows down into the low, maybe even mid-60s there. You see on Tuesday. Some sunshine each and every day, but you'll notice shower chances start to work their way back into the forecast slightly, so ever slightly on your Tuesday, but Wednesday and Thursday, 60% chance of showers. We've got another cold front coming. Next weekend is Derby Day, the Montgomery County Rescue Squad auction, a lot happening, and it might be happening under some cooler air like what we're going to see this weekend. Look what temperatures are in store for. Again, low 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and some sunshine. Cold front comes through, again, close to the same time next week. Takes temperatures down to 74 Friday, maybe further on down for Derby Day and Rescue Squad Auction Day on your Saturday. So I'm pretty sure that will be a talking point for your weather, well, all of next week, and certainly when we get a little closer to the big first weekend in May. That's it. Good Friday to you. Hope you get some rest if that's what you need, and hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. Hope to see you Monday, too. Thanks for watching.